orange book, and it has gotten some publicity in a few different places. And one place in particular locally for us was in the Birmingham News. And so this guy from the Birmingham News decides to pick a couple of quotes and have a good time with them. And so one quote he used, he said, "While it's a common pulpit truism that God hates sin but loves the sinner, Platt argues that God hates sinners." And then the article just kind of moves on. And it's a quote from the book. And so people start emailing, calling, church members. Because people are coming to them saying, well, your pastor preaches hatred of people? Pastor, do you believe God hates sinners? You really? Did you say that? It's one of those places where we can find ourselves in a bit of trouble for quoting the Bible. Does God hate sinners? Let me read to you. You don't have to turn there. Psalm chapter 5, verse 5. "The boastful shall not stand before your eyes. Lord, you hate all evildoers. You destroy those who speak lies. The Lord abhors the bloodthirsty and deceitful man." Maybe I should have said abhor. Maybe that's a better word. No, God doesn't hate sinners. He abhors them. And destroys them. Could you quote me on that? And you look at it, and 14 times in the first 50 Psalms alone, we see God's hatred for the sinner, His wrath on the liar, and so on and so on. And it's not just Old Testament, it's New Testament. We know in one of the chapters containing the most famous verses about God's love in John 3:16, we find one of the most neglected verses about God's wrath in John 3:36. So does God hate the sin and love the sinner? Well, sure, in a sense. But does God hate the sinner as well? Yes. And this is so key to understanding the cross. We have this tendency to think of sin as if it is something that is outside of us. And then when Jesus went to the cross, He was enduring the penalty for all this stuff that we have done, all this lying and cheating or lusting or whatever it is, all of these things that are outside of us. Brothers and sisters, our sin was not outside of us. It is a part of us. It is the core of who we are in this world. We are sinners with a deep, sinful nature, and a holy God who is dead set against sin is also dead set against sinners. And His holy hatred and holy wrath due sin is not just due something outside of us, it is due us. And this is the beauty of the cross, because when Jesus went to the cross, He did not just take sin like it's something outside of us upon Himself. He stood where we belong. He stood in our place, and He took the full force of the holy, righteous wrath and hatred of God due sin and sinners alike upon Himself in our place instead of us. So let us not be quick to lean on trite and comfortable cliches in our culture that rob the cross of its meaning. Jesus stood in the place of sinners.